So if you were to take a flight from Singapore to New York, which is about 18 hours and 40 minutes, and you had no Wi-Fi on the plane, you would have totally missed all the action. Because a flight from Singapore to New York lasted longer than the ceasefire, which is pretty much dead now because the Strait of Hormuz is closed again. To be honest, I actually gave it about 4 or 5 days before it collapsed. I didn't actually think it would collapse within 24 hours. But this clown show of a US administration never ceases to amaze me how low they can actually go. So I'm going to go over what happened in these last 24 hours. And at the end of the video, I'm going to go on a bit of a MAGA rant. So you're not going to want to miss that. So let's get started with the first report.
Hours into the ceasefire, a victory party of sorts spilled into the streets of Tehran. While on state media, leaders flexed.
Iran's Air Force.
So too did the Trump administration.
Operation Epic Fury was a historic and overwhelming victory on the battlefield. A capital V military victory.
Both countries claim the upper hand as confusion swirls around whether the Strait of Hormuz is open, whether Lebanon is included in the agreement, and whether a ceasefire is truly in place.
Let me answer that with my non-expert opinion. It's not, and it never was. I said in my last video that there's way too many parties involved right now on both sides. Some groups might want to have the ceasefire, some groups might not. And it's only going to take a couple missiles to really screw things over, which has already happened. And in my opinion, this whole ceasefire thing is a gimmick.
Ceasefires are fragile by nature.
In the middle of the White House press briefing, reports of new bombing in Iran.
Who is bombing Iran right now?
Were those reports just as of a few minutes ago?
Yeah.
Okay, so obviously I'll have to go back and check with the national security team.
And then there's the murky question of what's in Iran's 10-point proposal. U.S. President Donald Trump initially called it a workable basis on which to negotiate. The Iranians say that plan grants them control over the Strait of Hormuz, allows them to continue enriching uranium, and forces the U.S. military to withdraw from the region.
I don't know about you guys, but like this 10-point whatever they call it, it actually seems like a benefit for Iran. And like they actually got more out of this versus what they had before. And now the Orange Clown actually wants to have like a joint venture with Iran to toll the Strait of Hormuz. If I was Iran, I would tell the United States administration to go F off. It's too early to swear in this video.
That, the press secretary insists, is a totally different plan.
The Iranians originally put forward a 10-point plan that was fundamentally unserious, unacceptable, and completely discarded. It was literally thrown in the garbage by President Trump.
There is, she said, a more reasonable plan on the table now. But after 6 weeks of hammering Iran with 13,000 strikes, Democrats say the U.S. is worse off.
We have a regime in Iran that is more radical, more extreme, more hardline than the one before.
And then there's the Strait of Hormuz, which before the war was open.
Now Iran has clearly established that it can control the strait and is even talking about charging tolls.
And the orange guy, all he wants to do is make money out of this whole thing. You know, if I was a US citizen, I would be fully embarrassed to be holding a US passport. And I'm sure a lot of US citizens watching this video right now are. And I feel for you because your country's a clown show right now. But this is like next level unhinged shit going on right now. And while the US citizens watching my video right now probably fully understand, how many still don't give a shit what's going on right now? I really wonder.
Status of the strait now and how it will operate in the future, just one of the many points to be ironed out this weekend in face-to-face talks in Islamabad. The U.S. contingent, led by the confident vice president.
Frankly, the president has all the cards here. We've got a lot of leverage. We've got a lot of things that we can do. But right now, I think that we're in a good spot.
Vance also made it clear Iran would not be allowed to continue enriching uranium despite what Iranian leaders continue to say.
And Katie, this as Trump takes aim at NATO for not taking a bigger role in this conflict.
Yeah, and the Wall Street Journal is even reporting he's got a plan to pull U.S. troops out of European nations that didn't help. So NATO's Secretary General met with Trump at the White House today to emphasize the alliance's contributions to the war.
Okay, here's a question for my European viewers. The orange guy is threatening to pull out the troops out of Europe. What are your thoughts on that? Because if it was me, I would be giving the troops a farewell gift. Things have fundamentally changed with relationships when it comes to the United States. And having their troops in foreign countries doesn't sit well with me these days. And if I relate it back to Canada, having any troops or government agencies on our soil, it definitely raises some concerns for me. Let me know in the comments if you agree with me. And if you do agree and you're not subscribed to my channel yet, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button below. That way you're notified of my future videos. Alright, let's keep going.
And a short while later, Trump repeated his criticism in an online post saying that NATO wasn't there when we needed them and won't be there if we need them again. Remember Greenland, that big, poorly run piece of ice.
Yep, the United States is definitely not making friends anywhere. But I want to move on to the next report, because it tells what's actually happening during this quote-unquote ceasefire. And it's definitely a lot more credible than listening to Caroline Levitt. Let's take a look.
100 Israeli airstrikes hit Lebanon within 10 minutes, leaving Beirut neighborhoods buried. Israel calls it the heaviest day of bombardment in years, saying it was going after Hezbollah militants. Residents were expecting a ceasefire.
We are living in a nightmare, so I'm afraid today to sleep.
Alright, I'm going to go on a little bit of a rant here. I see these pictures and it actually heartbreaks me. Why? Because these are everyday citizens in Lebanon, just trying to live life. Sure, every country has its flaws, but could you imagine if this happened on the United States soil? I can imagine all the victim stories and people saying, why would they do this to us? But the thing is, it's not happening on the United States soil. It's happening everywhere in the Middle East. Every country that has got bombed in the Middle East. The source of all of this is the United States and Israel. Those back home in the United States, their priority is not this, what their country is doing to the rest of the world. And if I focus in on the tourists and government officials and business owners that I've always been talking about on my channel, why should we support you when your country is doing this to other countries? Sure, it might be Israel doing the bombing in Lebanon, but the US is just as guilty. I'm just having a hard time accepting the fact that so many US citizens are so complacent and apathetic about what's going on, yet they think their marketing and tourism campaigns can still bring us back. Not with all this going on. I'm sorry.
The attacks also defied the expectations of Iran and Pakistani mediators, who say the truce agreement included Lebanon.
And it just didn't. We never made that promise. We never indicated that was going to be the case.
In fact, Israel insists the whole ceasefire is not the end of the military campaign, but a stop on the way to achieving our goals, says Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu.
So this whole ceasefire was nothing but a charade, and the whole world can see it. Sure, oil prices might have went down for like half a day, but my guess is that it's going to continue going up. And with the Strait of Hormuz closed again, and Iran tolling in order to get the ships to pass through, I don't think this is going to end anytime soon.
With most Israelis supporting the war and many skeptical that a decisive blow has been dealt to Iran and its proxies, Israel isn't looking for the same off-ramp as the U.S. is.
And Sasha, Iran is now saying it will stand by its Hezbollah allies.
That's right. Iranian news agencies were reporting today that Tehran was threatening to close the Strait of Hormuz again if the attacks in Lebanon didn't stop. Washington and here in Israel, they've rejected that demand, but the U.S. says that Israel has promised to check itself.
That's funny. Anyone who thinks Israel is going to stop or pause is out of their mind. But what this really comes down to is that the orange guy put himself in a situation and he can't get out of it. First he thought it would end in a couple weeks, then they closed the strait, then he asked for help, then the world said no, then he said screw NATO, we'll remember this, then he begs to have the strait open again, then he tries the ceasefire route. What's next? We don't know what the orange guy is going to try to pull next, but whatever it is, we know it's going to be full of lies and gaslighting. But what I do know is that the world is fed up, as well as some US citizens. But there are some citizens that I'm actually really surprised that are fed up as well. And they are high-profile MAGA supporters. I want to show you a few clips, and you tell me what you think about it.
I mean, I don't know about you, but I am sick of this shit. I'm sick of it. Can't he just behave like a normal human? I mean, honestly, like the president, 3D chess, shut up. Shut up about that shit.
No, Megan, you shut the fuck up. You have absolutely no right to complain because you are part of the problem. You spent years promoting this orange guy, and when things get rough, that's when you complain? MAGA doesn't get to wash their hands from this mess that we're in. Because if it wasn't for MAGA, or Joe Rogan, or what's that Marjorie Taylor, whatever her name is? Marjorie Taylor Greene. If it wasn't for people like these, treating the orange guy like he's God, we wouldn't be in this situation right now. We're definitely hearing a lot more MAGA trying to wipe their hands of this mess. And for me, I'm not going to let them off the hook. Let's take a look at another MAGA supporter trying to wash his hands.
How do we 25th Amendment is?
The problem is to get the 25th Amendment is harder than impeachment. You have to get 2/3 of the House and 2/3 of the Senate.
So what do we do?
Tackle Trump and pretend, let him pretend he's president and publicly report that he's going through a health issue and Vance take over. It literally needs to be something like that. It's that bad.
As you can see, another popular MAGA person trying to distance himself from the orange guy when he spent years promoting him, kissing his ass, and telling his viewers, you got to vote for the orange guy. But you know what the sad thing is that these guys that were heavily promoting the orange guy are never going to face justice. The only thing I can really say is I hope karma hits them one day. Now to close off this video, I would like to thank Twist from our Discord server for posting this photo of Toronto in the morning. I don't think I've ever seen a sky that red before, but I do appreciate you sharing it with the community. Now I want to take this time to talk about something. I'm putting it at the end of the video because I know most people that are just casual viewers, they're probably gone already. But I do know that the loyal channel subscribers are still listening right now. But I received some sad news that one of our community members has passed away. And this person actually means a lot to me because she was actually one of the first subscribers that I had to my channel. And her and I, we had back and forth emails all the time. And in one of the interviews that I did, she actually connected with the person pretty well and wanted me to pass along the information to her. And they ended up becoming friends. And that's how I found out that the person actually passed away. Their friendship grew because of the channel and they met each other through Guard the Leaf. And the person I interviewed actually said that even though they didn't meet, the closest that they got to meet each other was when she drove by on the highway and they waved at each other. But without telling too much information about her, she was a Canadian living in the United States with plans to come back to Canada. She saw the mess that was going on in the United States and wanted out of there. And unfortunately, I'm not too sure if she actually made it back to Canada before she passed away. So in case somehow this message gets to her family, she was an amazing woman, and even though I only spoke to her by email, she was also a big reason why my channel kept going. There were times where I wanted to kind of give up and didn't think anybody was listening to my messages. But every so often I would get an email from her saying my videos resonated with her and to keep going and keep speaking my mind. So if her family's listening to this right now, I send my sincere condolences, and I will miss seeing her email show up in my inbox. After the news, I really thought about this a lot. I mean, I didn't just create a channel. I mean, I did create a channel, but what I didn't expect is the community that was actually built through it. I mean, I'm seeing people recognize other people's comments and asking how their day is. Or even in the Discord server, people welcoming in new people and having chats with them, sharing their photos and artwork and even their pet photos. I guess I'm also like reflecting on this past year because it's almost been a year since I posted my first video. Doesn't seem like it at all. And I've gone through my own changes. I mean, hell, I am an introvert if you guys don't believe me or not. And even my coworkers are like, what the hell? How the hell do you have a YouTube channel? But it's definitely been like a growing experience. I mean, I went from, being so cautious about how I speak and editing out every single little mistake I made to not using scripts and just saying what the hell I want. But I think the best thing about this channel has been the people that I have met. Whether it's from Discord or Blue Sky or email, anywhere else. I've met people from all over the world, not just Canada. And I guess my message for everybody is to also do the same thing as well. Meet people through the Guard the Leaf community. I'm not necessarily saying in person. I mean, if you want, that's fine. But what I'm saying is that the Guard the Leaf community does have the same like-minded people with the same values and the same goals and the same vision. To be honest, I don't know where I'm going with this talk right now, but I guess what I want to say is I want to thank everybody for their support and for also helping to grow the GTL community. And if you're only here for the cat, I'm fine with that as well. So no worries there. If you found any value in anything I said today, or you want to hear more from a Canadian and international perspective without the US media bias, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button below. That way you're notified of my future videos. And if you want to see more of my videos, check out the ones that'll show up on your screen shortly. Thanks everyone. I'll see you in the next one.